Here we go, hour 2 in L.A. This is The Herd, wherever you may be, however you may be listening. We're live on iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, and FS1. Joy Taylor is joining me. So, utter disrespect today, Joy. Now, I've always believed this, that because I'm from the Pacific Northwest,
yes,
I try to not be a homer. Because I think people tend to think, oh, you're a homer. I live in Los Angeles now, and I get, oh, you're a homer. Well, no, Vegas has the Lakers and the Clippers as the top 2 NBA teams. That's not my opinion. Right. And the Rams did get to the Super Bowl, although all year I was very critical of the Rams. So I don't think I'm a homer. I think the Houston Astros will win the National League, not the Dodgers. I think they have more good players, and they have more experience. Dodgers are young and talented. So I try not to be an L.A. homer. It's just right now, the Dodgers are good. The Clippers are good. The Lakers are good. The L.A. teams, LAFC, I have season tickets to. A lot of teams are winning in Los Angeles. And in Seattle, the Seahawks have been great, but I try not to be a homer. In fact, I probably go overboard in not embracing the team in the areas I'm from because I always push back on that. I always try to give the East Coast and the Midwest teams a little bit more love. Just like I said a couple of minutes ago, if I had to build an NFL franchise, I take Mahomes and Andrew Luck, 2 of my 3 Midwest guys. People would disagree, but I do feel like I push back on the Seattle homer thing sometimes. But Russell Wilson's the exception because I grew up a Seattle Seahawk fan, and we were mostly fun and irrelevant my entire life. And then Pete Carroll came, and we were still mostly fun and irrelevant, 7-9, 7-9. And then Russell Wilson arrived, and everything changed. And suddenly Pete Carroll's the best coach ever, and Marshawn Lynch is the best running back ever, and Richard Sherman's the best player ever. And no, Russell Wilson arrived. And by the way, Russell Wilson was there last year, and a lot of the other players have all left. Marshawn Lynch has left, and Richard Sherman left, and all the players, Cam Chancellor left, and everybody left. Seattle had a winning record still. Oh, okay. It's like Steph Curry. It's like Steph Curry. Steph Curry doesn't get any respect from players because this is the way it works in pro sports. Cool is a commodity. Of course, not in real life. Smart is. Grown up is. Dependable is. But in sports, among players, Westbrook's more popular than Steph Curry. Steph Curry's not cool. Steph Curry's quiet, and he's religious, and he's a family guy. And he wears, like, pharmaceutical shoes. And Russell Wilson's religious and quiet and not loud and not... And so Steph Curry and Russell Wilson, they're also a little smaller, distinct, and unique. They don't get respect from players. So yesterday's a prime example. Golden Tate, who entered the league with the Seahawks, then he went to the Lions, and now he's a New York Giant. He was Philadelphia for an hour. So he's bounced around a little bit. Total shot at Russell Wilson, saying his former Lions quarterback is way better.
To me, as of now, where I am today, I think Stafford's been the best quarterback I played with over his career. If you put him in another organization, maybe things are different. I don't know, because I played with some guys over my years that I've won playoff games with that I don't think are as good.
That's funny. That would be Russell Wilson. If you put Matt Stafford in a different organization, no, that's not the way it works, Golden. That's not a golden take. This is not a debate. It's a hill you're going to die on alone. Okay? Let me tell you how it works. When you're great, you make the organization. Carson Palmer made the Bengals get to the playoffs. Andy Dalton can't. Same organization. Seattle had all sorts of quarterbacks who could play. Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl. This idea, well, it's the Lions. By the way, the Packers were dog meat before Brett Favre got there. They were 25 years of a nothing burger, and Brett Favre got there and made the organization. What were the Colts before Peyton Manning? Don't give me this whole, well, I mean, if you put Stafford over, well, what were the Seahawks before Russell Wilson? A bunch of nothing. I was there. This is not a debate who's better. It's a shot at Russell Wilson. Let's look at some numbers. Data and stuff. Passer rating, not close, Wilson. Losing season, Stafford 6, Russell never had one. Touchdown, interceptions. Stafford's got twice the interceptions, twice the losses. And that's Russell being in a division where teams get to the Super Bowl in his division. San Francisco got to a Super Bowl in his division. Arizona got to the NFC Championship in his division. The Rams got to a Super Bowl in his division. That's not an easy division. So this is not a debate. And the idea that if you put, and I like Stafford, I think he's crazy talented, but if you put Stafford in a better organization, no. What were the Packers for 25 years before Brett Favre got there? What were the Seahawks before Russell Wilson got there? They made the organization. What were the Colts before Peyton Manning? By the way, Denver had John Elway. Denver lost John Elway. They were only, they haven't been special mostly since he left, except for the year they got Peyton Manning. Okay? So don't tell me if you put Matt in a different situation. No. Matt has not been good enough to this point to elevate the organization, which is what the transformative guys do. This idea Seattle is just a great organization and Russell Wilson's just a little bit of the stop. This is not a debate. This is playoff wins, Russell Wilson 8, Stafford none. Okay, not a debate. All right. And by the way, not picking on Matt Stafford because Golden Tate brought this up. Matt Stafford would probably tell you if you asked him, yeah, Russell has a better career. I think Matt Stafford would tell you that. So I'm not going to pick on the writer on this story. NFL.com. They list the best coaches in the NFL. Now, there's a bunch of new coaches, like 6, 7 new coaches. They don't rank any of those. So they only rank 26 coaches. These are guys who coached last year in the league. They're not counting the new guys. Right? Guys who have never been a head coach in the NFL. That's the guys they're not counting. So they list the 26 coaches in order in the NFL. And most of the stuff at the top, we all know who it is. Belichick, Sean Payton, Andy Reid, Pete Carroll, Sean McVay, Harbaugh, Anthony Lynn, Tomlin. I'm not going to, that's fine to have Andy Reid number 2 behind Belichick. Pete Carroll maybe 3rd or 4th, but that's fine. I think they have a couple guys too high, too low. Now, I will say this. They have John Gruden at 15th. That's being very generous. They've got Doug Marrone for the Jaguars at 18th. That is beyond generous. He's an offensive coach, and the offense is always unwatchable. They've also got Bruce Arians at 16. Nice guy, but he stopped working in Arizona and used to brag he was home by 5:30 to have a cocktail with his wife. That's not the 15th, 16th best coach in the NFL. But here's why I stopped taking calls in sports radio. One of the reasons. Nobody was teaching me anything. Tell me something I don't know. Give me an idea I've never thought of. Feed nutrients to my audience. Callers stopped doing that. They just repeated stuff I'd said or told me stuff I could already see on television, and my job is to find stuff nobody's talking about. But it's not really a fan's responsibility. It's mostly a media's job to do that. That's our job, 24/7. We're in media. So when the NFL.com comes out and puts Kyle Shanahan at 23rd, what are you doing? So let me tell you, NFL.com writer, Shanahan has a doppelganger in this league. It's called Belichick. Belichick was a great coordinator. Everywhere he went, legendary, everywhere he went, teams got better. Went to Cleveland, won some games, but couldn't win consistently because he couldn't get the great quarterback. If I'd have told you when Belichick was in Cleveland, this is the next great head coach in the league, you would have scoffed at it. But if you'd done any homework with Belichick, you'd have known. He actually did an incredible job in Cleveland for what he had. And he was the best coordinator in the league. And every time he interviewed, that's why he got a job after Cleveland so quickly. That's why he had multiple jobs. He turned down the Jets job. Okay, Kyle Shanahan has an incredible career as a coordinator. Everywhere he's gone. He made Matt Schaub a Pro Bowler. Everywhere he's gone. He made Matt Ryan an MVP. Then he leaves. The teams aren't the same. The quarterbacks aren't the same. Anybody can tell me Sean Payton's good. Tell me something we haven't seen yet. I'm going to give you some data, and this is my job to do this, on Kyle Shanahan. So since he's been in San Francisco, here's the quarterback attempts. C.J. Beathard's thrown 400 balls. Nick Mullins, 275. Brian Hoyer, 205. Jimmy G, only 267. Those are the quarterbacks he's dealt with. The team health has been 29 and 23rd, meaning his teams can't stay healthy. The schedule, the 7th toughest and the 15th toughest. In a division with Seattle and the Rams, both really good. Kyle Shanahan, when he has had Jimmy Garoppolo, a legitimate franchise quarterback, is 6-2. That's 6-2 as he's rebuilt with a tougher-than-average schedule, with a team that can't stay healthy, and a bad defense, which you can't blame him for that because he's not drafting the players. Their secondary's atrocious. So if you look at him when he's actually had a quarterback that's considered a franchise quarterback, 400 yards a game, 93 passer rating, they win by over a field goal, 27 points a game, 6-2. This is Belichick before he got a franchise quarterback. I know Andy Reid can coach. I know Sean Payton can coach. I know Pete Carroll can coach. I know Bill Belichick's great. Anybody can say that. Find me stuff, because Shanahan, if you do a little digging, to put him 23rd in the league is absurd. My contention, in 2 years, you'll put him in the top 6. And I've said this before. McVay's got the high cheekbones and is way better with the media. So we all love Sean McVay, and I like him too. I think Shanahan is a better coach. Not by a ton, because I think McVay's great. But McVay is very friendly with the media, very handsome, ton of energy. It's the Los Angeles market, and McVay's just, and he's good. McVay's really, really good. But you watch that Super Bowl. That was a coaching clinic. The best Rams coach was Wade Phillips, not Sean McVay. McVay was the third best coach in that football game. Shanahan is a great coach, but you have to dig a little. Team's not healthy. Schedule's brutal. Doesn't have a quarterback. Rebuilding. How bad was this team when he took them over? How bad were the Niners? Just wait. Just wait. 6-2 with Jimmy G. All right, I got a lot of energy today. See, when you drink a Red Bull right out of the chute, see, I'm off coffee now. I'm done going to coffee shops. So what's the alternative to that to have energy for the show?
So you're going to drink a Red Bull every day?
I'm thinking about it. You know what? There's no Red Bull stores. I don't have to